All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Who just came in? Katie. Katie, where are you from?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Slidell, sorry, Honey Island
Okay.
Elementary.
Y'all are getting huge bonus points. All right, so I'm going to jump in. We're doing the active affiliation transition overview. So to start things off, why are we here? Philip, you want to tell us why we're here in your own words?
We are here for the kids and for the families, to help engagement, help the parents feel involved with their child's education.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's sorry, go ahead.
You're right. So that's effectively what we're saying when we say the mission, which is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. Okay, so active affiliation. This is the annual paperwork that is required to be filed with Louisiana PTA. And it does things like keep your IRS nonprofit status, and your affiliation with both Louisiana PTA and National PTA. And then there are 9 items that are easily submitted online. Before we get to the 9, if a unit fails to file their active affiliation report, then we turn to the retention plan, which I'll sort of run through briefly. There's 5 phases. The first phase is notification, and you're giving 30 days after the deadline to submit your report. By the way, the deadline, I forgot to put it in here, but it's going to be October 27th, so the last Friday in October this year. The second phase is restriction. You get a second 30-day notice, and then you lose your eligibility for awards, grants, programs, etc., from Louisiana and National PTA. We are, for those that are just coming in, those that are just coming in, we're going through quickly the retention plan for those who haven't filed or don't file their active affiliation report on time. So on the third phase is the restructure. Louisiana PTA could restructure the leadership for the PTA that is not responding to the requirements, or what we'd rather is to put in a plan of action to avoid that restructure phase and move into the intervention phase. So the phase 4, intervention, we put in a plan of action to figure out the items that are missing and what needs to be done to get that paperwork filed. And then finally, the 5th phase would be dissolution if we're not able to get the requirements from the PTA. Now, this takes about 3 years, although it can be sooner depending on the situation. All right, so moving into the 9 items of the active affiliation report. You can, it should say that it is due this year, October 27th, which is the last Friday of the month. And the website where we have everything listed and detailed is louisianapta.org/active affiliation. And y'all can speak up at any point if you have any questions, although it's pretty straightforward. So the first of the 9 requirements is your membership. Every PTA is required to have at least 30 members. You go to louisianapta.org/membership, where there's a link for you to submit dues for the exact number of members that you actually have. And then after you do that, there's a spreadsheet that is emailed to office@louisianapta.org. And we suggest submitting membership dues monthly so that you're on top of that and have the accurate numbers submitted to Louisiana PTA. And as a note, the information that you submit in that spreadsheet that we need is last name, first name, and an email. along with some other details, but for the membership, that's what we need for those people. All right, the second thing is your leader data. This is for the officer data for those on the board of directors to submit. If you go to louisianapta.org/register or /submit-officer-data, it's a mouthful. You'll submit the information for each person. And this is really important because that's the way we keep in touch with you. And it has to be redone every year. All right, the next item are the bylaws. So you only have to submit the first page of your bylaws that shows your approval stamp and date from Louisiana PTA. We've actually had a few people who have forgotten the step that they have to be approved by us, by Louisiana PTA, to make them final. And as a side note, bylaws need to be updated every 3 years. All right, taxes. I'm flying through this. This is going to take long. If y'all have questions, let me know. So the taxes need to be filed every year, 4.5 months after the close of the tax year. So that's usually by November 15th. If you close your fiscal year on June 30th. You need to register at irs.gov. The Form 990N for those making less than 50,000 needs to be filed electronically. And there's lots of options. So you would submit to us proof of that submittal. So it could be a screenshot, the receipt you get from that, whatever the form is. The budget. So there's 2 forms for this. Your approved annual budget from your first general membership meeting, along with the local budget approval form. Both of those pages need to be uploaded and submitted to us. And just this note that PTAs can only spend the amount of money listed in the previous year's startup funds line item before their budget is approved. The audit report. So this is reconciling the bank statements to the receipts to make sure everything is on the up and up, and checks all have, or expenditures all have 2 signatures. The audit report is submitted. The articles of incorporation.
When is the audit report due?
That
Is it November 15th as well?
No. So the audit report is due. Kayla, you're on here. Make sure I'm right on this. It's due with this report. So it's due October 27th.
Got
The
it.
taxes are due. Well, I didn't actually go over this. So the taxes are due November 15th, but the taxes that you submit for us are actually from not the year that just closed, but the year before that, because the tax deadline is after our submittal deadline. So for this year, you'll be submitting 2021. Yeah, 2021, 2022 will be the taxes that are submitted. And then the audit report is due with this report. That answered your question? Yeah.
Sorry. So to update our information on GoBiz,
Yeah.
do we need a login or to do
Yes.
that? Should we have a log? Okay.
Yeah, you should have one. Whoever did it before you, if you didn't do it, has that login because it's all done electronically online.
Okay.
If for some reason you don't know that login, I'm sure they have a help contact us link.
Okay.
I don't actually know how they handle that.
Okay. I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Do you still have the past president's info?
Yes. And our treasurer had said that there wasn't a login to update it that she had, that she remembers just updating it without logging in.
No, you
Okay.
need to log in so that, yeah, you have limited
Okay.
people can access it to do that.
So I need to follow.
Yeah, there
Okay.
should be
I'll
an
follow
email
up.
and there should be an email
Okay.
and password. And when you do that, it'll email the person that's on there. And so when I changed ours, it went to her email and she had to accept it and let me switch it over to my email.
Okay. Okay.
So we did it like we were on the telephone when we switched from one person to the other.
Okay.
Because it actually, I think it even had a, I think we had our actual like school's email address on it, but I think it also had something to do with our phone number. And and when we switched things over, because we were having to switch the registered agent from her to me.
Okay.
And that's the primary person listed,
Mhm.
the registered agent. And then the other thing too is if you have your previous articles of incorporation, is to check when it was done, because sometimes the dates can, like, I know from my high school that I think the renewal date is in March because somebody did it late one year. So it should be in the beginning of the year, but you never know where yours actually is.
Okay. Now, one more question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I've noticed some of the schools, like Honey Islands, doesn't say, I think it was Honey Island, doesn't say PTA. It says Honey Island Elementary, but like Little Oak says Little Oak Middle School PTA. Like, how do we get PTA added to?
So you can do a name change and update that without
Okay.
changing the entity. So I had to do that for a different organization, not a PTA one, where we changed the name of the booster club, the
Okay.
booster club. And I think it costs $75, which is a little bit like a
Oh.
new submittal to get that
Oh.
name changed, but I would recommend doing that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You don't want to
Sorry
have
for
it
all the questions.
confused with the school. No, I'm glad you're asking it. I don't like hearing myself talk the whole time.
The
Okay, anything
GoFiz
else?
site is pretty easy to maneuver through it. Once you get on the dashboard and you go in there, you can pick all the different things. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, proof of insurance. So this year, we're actually starting a new requirement, which is for all PTAs to have insurance. The reason for this is that the risk is really too great to not have insurance, if that made sense. For the board, for you personally, if somebody was to sue or if something's done wrong, online things, there's really a lot of things that can go wrong. And when they do, it can be a pretty big problem. So we usually use AIM, Association Insurance Management, although you can use anybody that does insurance. And we have their contact information on there. And that's another thing, if you have current insurance, to see when yours expires. It's usually in October or the end of September. But again, it depends on when your insurance policy was initiated. And then actually to go back to that, if a PTA has financial trouble with getting their insurance, then contact us, email Kayla. I'm throwing Kayla out there. I know she's on here somewhere. president@louisianapta.org to talk to her about your specific situation. All right, leadership training. So we need or require that all executive members of the board of directors receive training from Louisiana PTA. There's two ways of doing it. One is our leadership training in August, which is in person in Mandeville. It's going to be August 19th this year, and in Shreveport, August 26th. And then another source of training is that we do post all of our courses and support information online at louisianapta.org/training. And there's a proof of training certificate that you can download on that page to submit which courses you have done. And it's a little bit on the honor system, but we trust that y'all are looking in and sort of educating yourselves on the different policies. And this is my last slide. So the due date, I didn't update it. October 27th, 2023. That'll be for all of this paperwork, including the audit report. The taxes are going to be from the previous year, not the ones that were, well, will be filed by this November 15th. Does anybody have any other questions?
No.
You have anything else, Jennifer? Can we wrap it up that quick? Oh, Kayla isn't on here. Oh, did you sign in as Kayla and then you changed your name?
I guess I did. I didn't realize I did. I
Okay.
tried, I don't know what I clicked. I
Okay,
must be still logged in as Kayla
okay.
and never logged out.
Well, I was thinking she was here and she's not. So, anyway,
You're a pro, 18 minutes, bam.
I know, come on.
Wow.
Well, y'all all get full credit. It actually made me think that maybe we should be giving out certificates for these trainings for proof of training for the fall. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a
We
thought.
haven't talked about that. But I give
Yeah.
y'all full credit. Y'all are a big showing. All right, well, I'm gonna let y'all go and enjoy your night. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, you let me know, holler.
No,
If
ma'am.
not-
Thank you.
Good
I
night.
just
Thank
want
y'all.
to
you.
apologize
Thank
for
you.
the craziness in the beginning of
Yeah.
the phone call. I'm so sorry for all the background noise.
I didn't hear any background noise, so you're fine.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.